Hi, I'm Ryan, and you're watching a YouTube series on functional programming. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the either container, and we are going to build on what we learned in the previous episode. But this time, we're going to talk about how to wrap a try catch block inside of an either. So, the previous episode, or the previous two episodes, I would say, we learned how to define an either, how to define a right, how to define a left, and we return a right upon success, we return a left on failure. That's the general idea, and that's what we did when we defined this helper function called as from condition, which returns a right on success with a success value actually, and it returns a left with a failure value. And if you haven't seen that episode, I would suggest you go and watch that, because that'll help you a lot in understanding why we are following this pattern. So let's define this new function called a static from try. And I have a function here, and I'm going to not return right away, I'm going to do a try return right dot of wrap the value of the function and catch e return new left of the error. So very simple function. I execute the function passed to it, wrap it inside of a right, and if there's an exception, I wrap the exception or the error message or the error inside of a left. So now let's go ahead and see some code on how we're going to use this. So I'm going to do either dot from try. I have a function that would potentially throw an error, right? So where I is equal to 10, I'll return I dot to precision of, let's say, 10, and dot map x star 2 just multiplied by 2 dot fold. Now my fold, as you remember, takes two arguments. The first is if there's an error, we're going to console dot log error e dot message, and if it's a success, it's a value. So we're going to go value here, value, or I'm going to say success. And I need a plus sign over here, and I need a plus sign over here. So now let's look at this code. If I run this, let's see what happens. Initially, there's a success of 20. What if I make it to precision of, I think 10 point, I don't know, I guess I'm getting a nice precise value over here. And what if I make it 1000? Ooh, see what happened? It simply printed the error message at the end. It did not even try to multiply it by 2. And that's because when there was an error, we were wrapping the error with a left, and when it was a success, we are wrapping the success value inside of a right. So just this tiny function lets you wrap a try catch block and write your code in a much more linear fashion than you would otherwise do. And that's pretty much it actually for this video. That's all I had to share. I hope you find this useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.